I call this special regular meeting of council to order at 7 p.m. on April the 17th, 2024. Let's welcome everybody to Treaty 5 territory, ancestral land, which is place of Cree Nation, homeland of the Métis. Thank you and welcome. Just clarify, this is a special regular meeting, and all you put on the agenda is what is required on the resolutions and that. It has to be preset. So thank you. With that, we'll go right into resolutions. 2.1 is resolution authorizing administration to enter into a project contribution agreement between the government of Manitoba and the city of Thompson for the Thompson Regional Aquatic Center. Resolution 2024-047, moved by Deputy Mayor Valentino, seconded by Councillor McIver. Whereas the Department of Municipal and Northern Relations provides capital funding to foster economic growth and contributions for Manitoba's municipalities through shared priority projects. And whereas the Manitoba is prepared to provide the city of Thompson with a grant of $5 million to support the Thompson Aquatic Center project. Now therefore be resolved that council authorize administration to enter into the project contribution agreement between the government of Manitoba and the city of Thompson for the Thompson Aquatic Center project for the contribution of $5 million. Administration.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. So over a number of months, the city of Thompson has had a lobbying fundraising efforts with various levels of government, trying to raise additional funds for the project. This letter was reviewed at the Monday night committee of the whole meeting. What it basically says, it's from the Honorable Ian Bushy, the Minister of Municipal and Northern Relations. It is a confirmation that the government of Manitoba will contribute $5 million from the 23-24 budget towards the Thompson Aquatic Center project, and that they will work with the city of Thompson on funding the remaining balance or assisting the city on fundraising and funding the remaining balance of up to $15 million to bring the project to a completion. To move forward with this, the city is required to sign agreements with the province of Manitoba, which are standard funding agreements, as well as setting up the bank accounts and the various information they need to make the transfers of these dollars. So this evening, council would have to pass a resolution confirming this and allowing us to accept these dollars.
Thank you. Moved by Deputy Mayor Valentino. Do you have any comments?
Thank you, Mayor Smook. First off, I have laryngitis, so I'll try my best to speak as clear as I can tonight. I spoke a little bit to this on Monday night's meeting. That thank you to the province. This was a team approach to meet numerous times to get them to help us fund this project to get us to cross the finish line. So by moving forward with this tonight, this will be the next step so that we can get this project done. And I'll reserve my comments to the rest of the resolutions tonight, but definitely I'll be supporting this. This is a good news letter. Thank you.
Thank you. Comments? Other council members? Councilor Wong?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. First of all, I'd like to appreciate the province willing to give us this kind of generous amount. But I just want to clarify the letter here. I try to read this, try to be more clear with funding. When you read the second paragraph, they say we are also committed to work with you and other funding partners towards addressing the remaining current estimated balance of up to $15 million to bring this project to completion. So that means, does that mean the province will be finding some, like cash flow remainings from and help us, or they want us to commit to continue doing some funding to bring, or they would, if let's say at the end we still cannot find the 15, are they willing to top out? I understand the language.
Anthony.
So with our discussions with the department or the province still expects the city to continue its fundraising. We've let them know who we've been meeting with and the discussions that have been had, and that's one of the reasons they're willing to support this project. And we're supposed to provide them with a yearly update. And once we provide the update, they would then flow forward future dollars to go towards the project. So they're expecting yearly updates on what's going on. That's part of the contract agreement. And then I believe every August, they want us to provide an update on where our cash flow's at, how our fundraising efforts are going, and what our remaining gap is in the funding. So they would provide further funding, is my understanding, at that time.
So, okay, I can continue, thank you, madam. So that means if, let's say we manage to get 5, so we still need 10, what will be happen then?
At that point, we would return to the province and say that our gap is 10, and they would do their consideration of funding out of that future year. So the province wasn't willing to do the full amount all at once. Is what they want to do is look at flowing certain cash values every year.
So in other words, that amount that we need to work very hard for them. Because without that, I don't think we can complete that project.
That was what we promised when we met with the province, the administrative team as well as the council team, is that the city would continue its fundraising efforts, that it wasn't over.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Definitely, was a lot of work on a lot of people's part, to work with the province, and as I said, we went to the province. They basically said that, we said we were in a shortfall of 20 million. We discussed how we would do it, and basically the 5 million over 4 years, with the caveat that we will come to them. If we happen, somebody comes out of the blue with an extra, 3 or 4 million, then it would possibly lessen their thing, so. Definitely, it's a good win-win situation for the city of Thompson to guarantee that our taxpayers won't be on the hook for the full. Seeing no more comments or questions, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? Carried. Two point two. The resolution for the construction of the new aquatics center, RFP 11123, Penco Construction Canada 2003 Limited. Resolution 2024-048, moved by Deputy Mayor Valentino, seconded by Councillor Fitzpatrick. Be it resolved that council award the request for proposal number 11123 for the construction of the new Thompson Regional Aquatic Center to Penco Construction Canada 2003 Limited in the amount of $42,636,316, including all applicable taxes. And be it further resolved that council authorize the administration to enter into a CCDC2 stipulated price contract with Penco Construction Canada 2003 Limited. And be it further resolved that council authorize a 10% contingency on the Thompson Regional Aquatic Center project. Administration.
Yeah, so in the council package, there's a number of documents attached. I'll just go a brief overview of what happened in this process. So the city of Thompson released the RFP on Merck's for this construction in January 23rd. The closing date was January 23rd, 2024. 97 plans were downloaded from Merck's. At the end, there were 2 proposals that were submitted, one from Canotech Consultants, one from Penco Construction. The administration scored both of the projects. Both of them met the minimum scoring, which allowed us to move on to opening the price bid. Once we opened the price bid, you can see there was a very small spread between the two, where there was only about $100,000 difference between the 2 bids. There was 10 additional points that were available for those that submitted their subcontractors list, and Penco did so. The result of the evaluation is, after the technical evaluation and the price scoring, along with the subcontractor listing, out of 210 points, Penco was the lead proponent with 197 points. And they were identified then as the lead proponent on this project. There's a stipulation in our RP documents that the award has to happen by April 22nd. Therefore, it's here before council tonight for approval. Financial implications are the city's developed its fundraising plan according to the projection prepared in consultation with the council. The city still does require some fundraising efforts to close the gap, but we've secured some commitments from the province that help move this project forward. The way that it's been set out is that the project will be cash flowed with existing cash on hand and updates provided to the province throughout the process, with additional fundraising taking place moving forward. There's a cash flow projection attached for council's review. And so the recommendation is that the council award this resolution or pass this resolution tonight, allowing the administration to award this, sign the contract, and carry the contingency required on the project.
Thank you. As the mover, Deputy Mayor Valentino, do you have any comments?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Smith. Yeah, this is like 5 years I've been waiting to sit here tonight to finally have this come to a resolution, so I'm pretty excited about this. And I can't thank City Manager McGinnis and his executive team enough for the amount of work and hours and maybe a little bit of tears with some of opening these MERPS packages along the way. I mean, when you are an elected official like we are, we don't build for today, we're building for the future of this community. And for us to be able to leave a legacy project like this as a mayor and council is, I think, pretty exciting for us. And it was a part of our strategic plan, and we're gonna deliver on that. And I think that we let our public be as patient as possible. We've had a public meeting at the beginning, we've had the public survey, we've had the public consultation of location, and now we get to today to finally be able to, what I hope will be that we pass to actually award this contract. There are valuable people that have been a part of this team to get this, not only for our community, but for our region. And we always speak about this project as being a project for our region, not so much just for the city of Thompson. And we couldn't have done it to get tonight without our MLA Eric Redhead, who I know is streaming this tonight to watch, with our MP Nikki Ashton, who's here in person, to MKO and KTC, who's also, they're all online watching, and of course to our major corporate donator and supporter, 110% through everything has been Valley. So I just want to publicly thank that right now. There's going to be more of this to come, but this is a project for our community that will leave a legacy, and I'm very proud to say I'm going to be supporting this. And I'd like this to be a recorded vote, so in the future, those names are there for the people of this community and region to see who was here for this. Thank you, Mayor Smith.
Thank you. Any other councilors' comments? Councilor Lundmark.
I'm glad to be back, and I know all the work that's gone into this, and I really appreciate it, especially some of our councilors and colleagues and our administration who worked so hard diligently to lobby for this and to come up with some of the finances that we need for this development for the region, for the city. I know there's, speaking to the public, there's been a lot of people that talk to me all the time about whether we're going to get a Aquatic Center again. They had lots of input into some of the designs that we've gone through, changes we've made, the revamping of the pool. The administration's gone through looking at those documents over and over again. Appreciate all that work and the work that our teams that we've paid to do those designs. They've all done things on that. The governments that we've worked with at different levels. And I hope that, I'm sure that the province is going to talk to other levels of government as well. And so will we, in trying to get more additional funding to ensure that this is all done. But I'm so happy that we're at this stage where we can.
Thank you. Any other councilors' comments? Councilor Oberdorf.
Madam Mayor. First off, I just wanted to say thank you to administration for putting together this package tonight. I know it was a lot of work, and you had a lot of information that you had to collect and put together to help us have kind of the understanding of the overall picture of what has happened to date, and to help the public understand what has happened to date and how we got to this point. So thank you for that work. You've done a good job on that. I just want to say also thank you. I know a lot of people have worked very hard for us to get this far, including the city administration, various elected officials, as Deputy Mayor has mentioned, at various levels, not just from the city, but also at a federal level and a provincial level. So it's very good to see that some of that support has paid off, and that the province has come to the table to support the project even further than they already were. And to our community members who have worked really hard to also fundraise and bring awareness to the project. without them, we also wouldn't be as far as we are now with the project. So I'm definitely in support of this. I know we have a lot of work still ahead of us to make the project successful, but I'm definitely going to be supporting moving it forward. And I'll definitely be at the table to help ensure that the rest of the work that does need to be done to make it a successful project happen. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Councillor Chong.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. What I'd like to say is, this project come a little bit too late, but better than never. So it happened right now, and I'm very glad for the what call that, quality tool team and administration put all this together and make it happen. So I hope everything go on fine, and in 2026 sometime, we would like to see the open ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Councillor Wong.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm not going to repeat all my colleagues speak. Pretty much is the same comment I'm going to make. I personally, beginning, I'm not really supporting to build a new pool because I know the old pool never been able to put on the table to discuss. And I know the old pool still have a possibility to refix or fix it, but I'm not gonna go back. We already moved so far now. So my intention is to move forward. And of course, we still have halfway to go for the project. There's only thing I worry about because I'm always a money person. When I don't see the money secure, I worry about it. But of course, we all like to see this happen. I want to continue the legacy. For sure, I'm going to support this resolution tonight, just to make sure that we are going to come to the end and get this all finished. But I have one question here. When I look at this, the funding projection, is there any reason why the fund raised committee amount is not included here?
Anthony, ma'am?
Those funds are currently being managed by the pool fundraising committee, and we also wanted to make sure that some of those funds have been already deposited in and are being accounted for in the dollars that are in the city's reserves. So we didn't want to make sure we're double counting the dollars. So that's something that I believe Lynn is still working out to ensure that none of that is double counted. So we're only projecting what we're sure about at this time. We do know that there are additional funds that the Swim North Group has raised. We just have not accounted for those in what we projected accounts.
The reason I bring it up because when I look at the shortfall, based on the report that we gathered a while ago from the administration, we should have a surplus, not a minus, based on the community fundraise amount. So just to mention.
Yeah, you're correct, Councillor. With some of that additional funding, once it's fully accounted for and gone through the numbers, that likely shortfall would be closed even further. And I believe right now with the current interest rates, we're earning very high interest on our total savings, which are in above the 10 million mark. So there should be good interest being earned on that at the moment as well, helping to close that gap.
All right, thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Anyone else? Well, this is very exciting for me. It was 5 years, 2 months, 3 days, and who knows, but 1 hour since we literally sat at this table and closed the pool, made the decision to close the pool. To have this coming forward finally is definitely something our council, our administration, everybody has worked very hard. I must admit, like our politicians have stepped up to the plate. Both Nikki and Eric have been absolutely wonderful in supporting us. Our Swim North fundraising committee, they have worked nonstop even without knowing exactly where we were going. Now they're ready to come out gung ho because now we do have a pool and we know where we're going. Another one that we'd be remiss to forget to talk to was who believed in us and came out right at the beginning with money was $2 million from Valet. So they knew right from the beginning that we were going to have a pool in Thompson. And we're basically working with, another donation, we won't say who comes to, but it's definitely our corporate sponsors. When we've talked, gone to some of our other corporate sponsors just in the last couple months, they've come forward with a commitment to move forward with some pretty generous donations. So I think you'll see in the next 2 to 3 months, that community contribution is definitely going to be much larger. And it's going to be the appreciation of what's going to happen for this pool. And it's just a great thing for our community, for our businesses, for everybody. So thank you to everybody here in the room that's had a part of it. And we look forward to moving forward with that. Seeing no more comments, we'll call for the question. All those in favor? Carried.
So recorded, what you have here, Joe.
Oh, recorded vote, sorry. Recorded, Councillor Wong, Councillor Lundmark, Councillor Chong, Deputy Mayor Valentino, Mayor Smook, Councillor Fitzpatrick, Councillor Colburn, Councillor Oberdorfer, Councillor McIver. Thank you, unanimous. This, I think, just goes to show how great our council has been in working together over this term, and I really appreciate it. Thank you. 2.3 is a resolution to approve administration entering into an authorization for additional services with Stantec Architecture Limited for the construction phase of the Thompson Regional Aquatic Center. Resolution 2024-049, moved by Councillor Fitzpatrick, second by Councillor Lundmark. Whereas on September 8th, 2020, Council passed resolution 2020-136 approving the recommendation of the purchasing agent to award the prime consultant service for design to build a new aquatic facility to Stantec Architecture Limited. And whereas the city has decided to proceed with the construction of the new Thompson Regional Aquatic Center. And whereas the city requires ongoing construction phase service, including resident review services to be provided by Stantec Architecture Limited during construction of the new Thompson Regional Aquatic Center. And whereas the city of Thompson is in receipt of an authorization for additional services, now therefore be it resolved that city authorize administration to enter into authority for additional services between Stantec and the city of Thompson. Administration.
Thank you, Mayor. So as was noted, the city of Thompson entered into an agreement with Stantec Architecture back in May of 2020. The agreement that was set up was for the design phase of the pool, as the council of that day wanted to have a shovel-ready project, understanding that the ISIP funds were going to be released, the Investing in Canada Infrastructure Program. The council today also noted, though, that any money that was spent at that time would not be eligible in the future for grant funding. Grant fundings don't go backwards, they only go forwards from when they're awarded. So the council that day, wanting to put the citizens and the city in a position that a number of those project fees moving forward could be covered by grants, decided to only award the design phase to get the project shovel ready, with the understanding that one council one day decided to move forward with building the pool, that they would then have to award the construction phase to Stantec. There's reasons it has to go back to the same architecture company, and because the way the Architects Act works, when all these designs are drawn and sealed, it has to be the same architect that sees through on the construction. It can't be another architect that comes in. The drawings will all have to be redone and resealed by that other firm. So that was always the understanding. Now that council has decided to move forward with the construction, there's authorization for additional services that's before you. That would include not only the construction management, but also resident review services. What a resident reviewer is would be someone who lives in the community and oversees the project on behalf of council. The city currently doesn't have an engineer on staff, and that's part of the role that that person would play in this project. And if you note, the resident reviewers billed as it's used. So if the resident reviewer comes from Winnipeg, it'd be at a higher cost. But if we're able to find a resident reviewer who lives in Thompson, it would then be billed at a lower cost. But right now, the way that this is set out is if they can't find someone in Thompson, it would be billed at that higher cost from outside of the city. And so that resolution before council, with the request, give us authorization to enter into that.
Thank you. Councillor Fitzpatrick, Mr. Mooper, do you have any comments?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I'm fully in agreement with this, as we don't, as city manager said, we don't have an engineer on site, and Stantec is our architect of choice, so it makes sense for us to hire somebody from their firm as they're very familiar with the drawings, the layouts and what's required, so they'll be our eyes and they'll keep the contractor on the straight and narrow, hopefully.
Thank you. Any other comments, Deputy Mayor?
Thank you, Mayor Smith. Yes, so I'm not, like, I had to really understand this whole part of it, but a couple things for me is, I mean, we've discussed this before, but similar to Councillor Fitzpatrick saying, we don't have an engineer on staff and our staff is short-staffed to begin with. I like the idea that we only get billed as we used, but I would like us to have updates as council through that process. So we're aware of what they're billing us and how much we're using. I like the idea that they're working towards having somebody as a resident of Thompson being that person. When they built the TRCC, they used the late Jack Costick. He was a local person that was to help them reduce their costs for this kind of part of it. But for me, it would be updates to council with the billing is used, and hopefully they find somebody local. I'll be supporting this.
Thank you, Anthony.
Yeah, I can address some of the council or the deputy mayor's comments. I believe the way the contract is set up, his billing would be monthly. So we would be able to provide council with monthly update on what the spend is versus the projection. I believe that's also part of this CCDC two. So that's the standard language that is set up there. And I believe they're also required to provide us with monthly updates. So that Stantec will report an update. Basically, here's the progress of the project. That's also requirements under the ISIP projects. So we'd be doing, I think, quarterly QPRs for them, but the Stantec would be putting together monthly reports that will be in confidence, but shown to council. So.
Councillor Charles.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. My question is, who is gonna provide the warranty service, like the job, like warranty job for the either Suntech or Penco?
Warranty would be covered by Penco, but be overseen by Stantec. So what Stantec's job would be is to go in there, identify any issues, make sure that all the issues at the end of the project are cleaned up. It's basically what's called a deficiency list. They would watch those, maintain them. Once the deficiencies are set, they would then set a warranty date, and then they would monitor them according as well as with our staff to make sure that the warranty is in place. Typically on these projects, I believe most components are about a year, but I'd have to check and see if there's any components that are outside of that normal parameter.
Thank you.
Councillor Lenmar.
With my experience as a project manager, and working with Stantec in the past, having them oversee their design and dealing with Penco, and I know that those two companies have worked together multiple times. Having a professional person that has seen the designs and has seen other facilities built, having their expertise on hand is great. They also come, when you've got that experience, you're dealing with contractors with change orders or changes in the design while you're going is invaluable when you're dealing with a project like that. Making sure that you're catching things off as you go, and it just takes a lot of burden off of us. And the amount of money that you're paying for that helps you in the long run when you're dealing with change orders and things. They catch things and things progress more easily and more efficient. Definitely important.
Thank you. Any other comments? Councillor Coleman.
Thank you, Mayor. Going through this, it looks like that it's gonna cost us an extra $1 million, right? 962,000 plus taxes.
No, Councillor, it'll actually be 1.8 million. There is 877,000, which is for the contract management portion, but the resident reviewer, if it's billed out at the full rate from someone from Winnipeg, would be an additional 962,000. If that person's a local person, has their own home, their own vehicle, all that, we estimate savings talking to Stantec of about $750,000 off of that. So that's why we're pushing for that, because that would be a significant savings on the project.
So 1.8 million. Is taxpayers in Thompson pay for that?
This is all included in the funding projection that was given to council with that funding gap.
Okay,
So it's been accounted for in the material provided to council.
thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, again, this is good news that we have somebody overseeing and overwatching everything that is happening. And, I would just, like to, thank everybody for their cooperation and, with that, call for the question. All those in favor? Carried. Just before we call for adjournment tonight, one of the persons that I would really like to acknowledge through all this, and I know she's been up there watching over, is just Danielle Adams. She was definitely a big proponent of this pool, and we have committed that there will be, she will be recognized through this building of the pool and that in consultation with the family and the province. So I just again want to thank Danielle for all she did for her timely passing. And again, I'd like to acknowledge everybody in the room that definitely made this go through. And, you know, our staff, most of them had more hair or not gray before this started, so we definitely appreciate all the work that you put into this. And fellow councillors, how you've made this go through so easy tonight. So thank you. It's been a long time coming, and I'd like to call for adjournment. Councillor Fitzpatrick, Deputy Mayor Valentino, all in favor?